Hi, this is Hamada and welcome to Final 50. Now Ghana, a country in West Africa, was the first in the continent to break from the shackles of colonialism. And for that I was so curious to learn more about the history, the traditions, and the culture of this incredible nation. So let me take you on a tour of the beautiful capital of Accra and parts of southern Ghana.
So let's rewind to before my trip even started.
So in the last couple of years, I've taken an effort to spend time to do a little research on the country. It starts with asking people who know people that are from that country and getting their top tips of things to do, as well as just even reading the Wikipedia page of the country and then just doing online research, checking out different social media accounts and so forth, just to get a better sense of what's going on there. And so now I'm kind of piecing together the trip to Ghana, which I'm really excited for. I'm excited to explore country 142.
When I first got to Accra, I was blown away by how busy it was. The capital has over 2 million people, and you can tell immediately how bustling and vibrant and lively it is just by walking in the streets. After checking out a couple of neighborhoods, I went to Makalo Market, which is one of the busiest markets in central Accra.
You gotta see it to believe it. So one of the main shopping areas here in town, and it's bananas, but pretty awesome.
Walking through Makalo Market is definitely an experience and a must-do if you're visiting Accra. It has everything that Ghana has to offer. Fabrics, cuisine, vegetables, fruits, electronic items, beauty products, pretty much everything you can imagine, all in one location. Ghana's beautiful vibrancy and colors is also reflected in what they wear. Just look at the kente patterns and the dashikis for men and the dresses of women. You can also see Ghanaian love of life, color, and history through the different mediums of art that can be seen in the jewelry, the masks, paintings, and even street art that you can find all over the capital. After getting a good sense of the colors of the capital, I wanted to check out the historical landmarks, especially since I was fascinated by Ghana's leadership in the decolonization of the continent.
Behind me you'll see the former first president of the country, Kwame Nkrumah, who was a liberator of the country. He helped really preserve Pan-Africanism and was a huge proponent of decolonization in the country. I really was motivated to come to Ghana because of this guy, because of what he was able to achieve for his country, for the African continent, really for the non-aligned movement.
Along the coast, you will find the city of Jamestown, which has some of the main historical buildings in the capital, including the lighthouse and the fort.
Lighthouse built in 1833 by the British.
Okay.
And then the fishing community also was built by the British. That was 1632.
I was really captivated by Independence Arch in Independence Square, which commemorates Ghanaian independence in 1957 and is also used for national parades.
Something gives you a swell of pride just being here and knowing this country was such a leader in the Pan-African movement to rid the continent of colonialism.
After doing my customary run in every new country I visit, I decided in my infinite wisdom to use my drone for actually the only second time ever. I was feeling super pumped and confident and excited to take great footage over the Ark until I was interrupted by a plainclothes, high-ranking officer and questioned for several hours for flying my drone in what turned out to be a highly restricted security area. Thankfully, it all worked out, but always make sure you have the right to fly a drone or get the necessary permits before doing so, because otherwise you could really get in trouble. Lesson learned. I really want to visit a coca plantation and see how chocolate is actually made, since it's such an important part of Ghana's economy and livelihood. So I traveled to the Tete Kwarshi cocoa farm, which is one of the oldest just outside of Accra.
So this is one of the first cocoa farms in Ghana, Ghana being the second largest producer in the world in cacao, which is made into chocolate, the number one being Ivory Coast, but as our esteemed gentleman here said, the quality is the best from Ghana, even though the Ivory Coast has the most in terms of quantity. And this farm here, which is named after the guy who brought the cacao to Ghana from Equatorial Guinea, he was able to plant the first tree right there, which is a huge point of pride. And then from there, in the western region, they have hundreds of acres of cacao, which is one of the biggest exports of Ghana. The medicinal purposes of this beautiful bean, when it's dry, it serves two purposes that my friend was telling us about. The first purpose would be for blood circulation.
Yes, when it's dry, fermented and dry one.
And the second, even though it tastes purely like chocolate, has a beautiful purpose to it.
For men.
For men. So it gives you a little bit of a kick, so to speak.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, due to COVID, we can't do an actual tasting, but you can see all the different types of chocolates here in this chocolate manufacturing place called Bioko, and they have couple of samples for us. So this one I believe is coffee. Let's give it a shot. That's good. Definitely worth it. When it's not COVID, to come and taste different chocolates here in beautiful Ghana.
I also had a chance to visit the Aburi Botanical Gardens, again just outside of Accra, to get a sense of all the different types of vegetation that exist in Ghana. And what can I say about Ghanaian cuisine except wow? I tried all kinds of different fish, soups, meats, stews, and starches that simply reflect the very rich palate of the people.
This is hotter than you can imagine. You can see I'm eating with my hands. Everybody's laughing at me because I have no idea how they're doing it. Ooh, that was hot. That was good. Very good.
I remember my first introduction of Ghana was watching the Black Stars football team play in the World Cup in 2010 and immediately fell in love with the pride and joy of the people. I saw this then firsthand when visiting Ghana in terms of the music, the culture, dancing, and the vibe in the hearts of those I met. Honestly, I was so fortunate to interact with and befriend so many locals because not only did they show me why they love their country so much, but they even got me out of that crazy drone situation. One thing that stood out for me was how Ghanaians celebrate those who passed. I would see posters everywhere I went announcing those who had recently passed, ranging in all age groups, and I had to investigate.
It seems that the reason that they put these almost like obituaries, these announcements, is so that people related to the person can come out there and commemorate their life and go to their wake or their funeral.
The way Ghanaians celebrate death led me down a rabbit hole and reminded me about the viral meme of the dancing pallbearers. You know, the one that went all around during the early days of COVID.
Because I've been trying to find this cool spot which has these awesome coffins. It's been a wild goose chase, but I think we finally did it.
Well, sadly I could not find those pallbearers, but I did find out that many Ghanaians choose to be buried in coffins that often reflect their passions, idiosyncrasies, and their professions in life. For example, a cocoa farmer being buried in a cocoa bean, policeman in a coffin the shape of a gun, a teacher in a book, or a preacher in a church.
Who's it for?
The old lady.
An old lady.
Many children.
You had many children.
Wow, what a unique way of celebrating life and death.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this tour of the beautiful city of Accra and the surrounding parts of the capital, and got a good sense for the art, cuisine, history, traditions, and even the idiosyncrasies of this incredible nation. Make sure to check out the blog that complements this vlog, and if you like what you saw, click over here. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on my next journey.